Ah, my precious darling, have you ever held a secret so heavy it seemed to steal your breath? Maybe one you didn't even recognize as a secret, but felt it, a splinter in the back of your mind, festering, spreading. Tonight's tale is such a secret, one that hummed softly, like a lullaby, into the ears of an innocent. Yet, be warned, lullabies are meant to soothe. But every now and then, a song becomes something else. Picture this, if you will. A dilapidated home in the heart of nowhere. Its windows cracked, its wooden floors whispering with the squirming of insects beneath. Sylvia, a single mother clawing through the ruins of grief, is trying to save her newborn daughter, Clara, from the shadows of poverty. Sylvia believes she's found salvation when she unearths an heirloom tucked away in her attic. An antique cradle, pristine despite the layers of dust surrounding it. Its wood gleams, its edges carved with unfamiliar runes. Now I already hear your objection, darlings. You want to scream, don't you? Don't do it. But alas, the thing about desperation is this: it clouds judgment. Sylvia places baby Clara into the cradle that very night, humming a melody she believes she just remembered. But it wasn't her memory. Oh no, it was the cradle's. At first, the changes seemed miraculous. Clara began to sleep peacefully for the first time. Sylvia, relieved and worn down to her last nerve, credited the cradle. But then the song began. It came softly at first, just under the edge of her hearing, a lullaby that wrapped around her like gossamer threads, pulling her somewhere between dreams and waking. She'd scold herself, convince herself there was no melody. But night by night, the tune grew harder to ignore. It wasn't the kind of song a mother sings to her baby. It was jagged, broken, stitched together in intervals that refused to resolve. One evening, Sylvia discovered blood beneath the cradle. A small drop, no more than a pinprick, smeared into the deep grains of that ancient wood. She panicked, inspected Clara from head to toe, but the child was unscathed. Days blurred. Sylvia found herself singing that eerie melody without realizing it. In the grocery store, while folding Clara's clothes, even in her dreams. Desperate for answers, Sylvia sought out a historian in town who specialized in ancient symbols. When Sylvia showed her the cradle's runes, the historian paled. Hidden in their twisted carvings was a warning, not of a curse to come, but of one that had already taken root. She explained it simply. The cradle wasn't an heirloom at all. It was a beacon. The melody, she said, acted like a hook, latching onto the most vulnerable part of the listener's mind, unearthing buried pain, fear, regret. Sylvia laughed uncomfortably at first, brushing aside the historian's tales as antique superstition. But that night, as she whispered the lullaby to a drowsy Clara, the air grew heavier. No, unbearable. And then she saw it. A shadow, thin and elongated, spilling from beneath the cradle. It didn't belong to Sylvia, to Clara, or anyone who should have been there. And as the shadow writhed and twisted, it began to sing louder. So loudly, it seemed to reverberate inside Sylvia's very veins. In its dissonance, she realized the lullaby wasn't meant to soothe. It was meant to summon. This visitor, whatever it was, had been waiting. And now, with Sylvia's love, her melody, her grief, it had finally found its voice. It told Sylvia things in whispers, though its lips, if they existed, never moved. It said Clara didn't belong to her anymore. The more Sylvia hummed, the more it became clear. Her baby had been traded away for the promise of calm nights. A cruel exchange Sylvia hadn't consciously agreed to. In a frantic panic, Sylvia tried to destroy the cradle. But no matter what she did, the wood wouldn't splinter, wouldn't burn. Just as Sylvia began to tremble with helplessness, Clara's cries pierced through the oppressive silence. Emerging from the cradle wasn't her baby, but something else. Red thread eyes glistened in shadows, a mouth too wide for its face stretching open to sing Sylvia's lullaby back at her. Her maternal instinct surged. But darlings, how does one fight the unnatural? By morning light, the cradle sat empty. Sylvia's neighbors claim both Sylvia and Clara simply vanished. The attic where the cradle was stored? Locked away by the next owners. Except those who swear they've heard faint melodies whispering through the walls on the coldest nights. And before I leave you to close your weary eyes, remember this. Desperation is the perfect bait for the unknown. So if you ever find yourself humming a tune you don't quite recognize, I suggest you stop immediately. After all, a song is rarely just a song. Don't you agree, my darlings?